She took my place. And I was left with silence. Not all at once. Slowly. Quietly. Like a door closing on its own. You do not notice at first. You just feel a draft. A chill. A distance where there used to be warmth. I am Ruth. I am 69 years old. I am a widow. I am a mother of 2 sons. I am a grandmother of 3. And I am a woman who watched another woman sit in my chair, cook in my kitchen, hold my grandchildren, and take my place at the family table. Her name is Diana. My daughter-in-law. My younger son's wife. The woman who looked me in the eye and smiled while she erased me from my own family. I did not see it coming. That is the thing about people like Diana. They do not announce themselves. They do not wear signs that say, I am going to take everything you love. They come as helpers. As fixers. As people who just want to make things better. That is how she got in. Through the cracks. Through the small openings I left because I was tired. Because I was grieving. Because I was a widow who did not know how to be alone. My husband, Arthur, died 4 years ago. Cancer. Fast. Cruel. 6 months from diagnosis to goodbye. I watched the man I loved for 42 years disappear. Piece by piece. Pound by pound. Smile by smile. After he died, I did not know who I was. I was Ruth and Arthur for 42 years. We were a pair. Like salt and pepper. Like morning coffee and the morning paper. Now I was just Ruth. And Ruth did not know how to be alone. My sons tried to help. Mark, my older son, lived 3 hours away. He called every day. He visited when he could. He brought his wife, Lisa, and their 2 girls. They filled my house with noise. With laughter. With life. Then there was David. My younger son. My baby. He lived closer. Just 20 minutes away. He came over every Sunday. He brought dinner. He sat with me. He watched football games I did not care about. He made sure I was eating. He made sure I was not becoming a ghost. Then he met Diana. Let me go back. Let me tell you about the life I built. The life before Diana. The life when my place was secure. I met Arthur in 1974. I was 23. He was 25. He was a carpenter. Strong hands. Quiet voice. Kind eyes. He built things with his hands. Tables. Chairs. Cradles. He built our first dining table. The one I am sitting at now. He built it for our first apartment. We had no money. No furniture. Just that table. And each other. We got married in my mother's backyard. Simple. Small. My mother made my dress. White lace. She cried when she saw me. She said, Ruth, you look like an angel. I said, I feel like one, Mama. Mark was born in 1976. David in 1979. 2 boys. 2 years apart. They were different from the moment they were born. Mark was serious. Quiet. Responsible. He was the one who reminded me to pay bills. He was the one who made sure his brother brushed his teeth. He was like his father. David was different. David was light. He laughed easily. He made friends everywhere. He was the one who brought stray dogs home. The one who left his toys in the yard. The one who forgot his homework, but remembered to tell me I was beautiful. He was like me. We raised them in that house. The one with the white porch. The one Arthur built. Not with his hands. He did not build the house. But he built the life inside it. The dinners. The birthdays. The Christmases. The arguments about nothing. The apologies that came with hugs. I was happy. Not perfect. No one is perfect. But I was happy. I had a husband who loved me. 2 sons who needed me. A home that was mine. Then Arthur got sick. The diagnosis came on a Tuesday. Pancreatic cancer. The doctor used big words. I did not understand all of them. But I understood the look on his face. That look of pity. That look that says, prepare yourself. Arthur fought. He was brave. He never complained. Not once. He took the chemotherapy. He lost his hair. He lost his weight. He lost his strength. But he never lost his kindness. Even on the worst days he would hold my hand and say, Ruth, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. I slept in a plastic chair next to his bed. Every night for 6 months. The nurses brought me blankets. They brought me coffee. They brought me tissues. They saw me fall apart and put myself back together. Day after day. He died on a Thursday. In the morning, the sun was coming through the window. He opened his eyes. He looked at me. He said, "Ruth, do not be alone. Promise me you will not be alone." I said, "I promise, Arthur. I will not be alone." He smiled. He closed his eyes. And he was gone. I sat there for an hour, holding his hand, waiting for him to come back. He did not come back. The machines were quiet. The room was quiet. My heart was quiet. The funeral was at our church. The same church where we got married. The same church where we baptized our sons. The same church where I thought we would grow old together. Mark stood next to me. David stood on the other side. They held my hands. They did not let go. Mark cried quietly. David cried loudly. I did not cry. I could not. I was too empty, too hollow, too tired. After the funeral, people came to the house. They brought casseroles. They brought flowers. They brought stories about Arthur. I listened. I nodded. I smiled. I said thank you. I did not hear a word. I was not there. I was in the hospital room, holding Arthur's hand. The first year after Arthur died was the hardest. I did not know how to be alone. For 42 years, I had someone. Someone to talk to. Someone to cook for. Someone to argue with. Someone to hold at night. Now there was no one. I stopped cooking. What was the point? One person does not need a pot of soup. I ate toast. Dry toast. Just enough to keep the hunger away. I stopped going outside. The world was too bright. Too loud. Too full of couples holding hands. I stayed inside. I watched television. Game shows. Soap operas. Infomercials. Things I had never watched before. Things that meant nothing. But they filled the silence. I stopped answering the phone. Mark called every day. I let it ring. I watched it ring. I could not pick it up. Because if I picked it up, I would have to pretend to be okay. And I was not okay. David started coming over. He would let himself in. He would find me in the dark. He would open the curtains. He would make me tea. He would sit with me. He would not talk. He would just sit. And that was enough. He said, "Mom, you cannot live like this. Dad would not want this." I said, "I know, David. I just do not know how to stop." He said, "You do not have to stop. You just have to start. One small thing at a time." He helped me. He made a schedule. Mondays, grocery shopping. Tuesdays, lunch with a friend. Wednesdays, gardening. Thursdays, call Mark. Fridays, dinner at his house. Saturdays, rest. Sundays, church. I followed the schedule. Not because I wanted to. Because I did not know what else to do. And slowly, slowly the fog began to lift. The colors came back. The sounds came back. I came back. David brought Diana home on a Sunday. Our Sunday. The day he always came. He called ahead and said, "Mom, I want you to meet someone special." I made pot roast. Arthur's favorite. My mother's recipe. I wanted her to feel welcome. I wanted her to feel loved. I wanted her to know that she was joining a family that cared. Diana arrived on time. She brought flowers. Yellow roses. My favorite. I did not tell her that. She just knew. Or maybe David told her. Either way, I was impressed. She said, "Mrs. Cooper, thank you for having me. This is a beautiful home." I said, "Please call me Ruth." She smiled. A big smile. The kind of smile that makes you feel seen. She said, "Ruth, that is a beautiful name." I liked her. Right away. I liked the way she looked at David. I liked the way she talked about her work. I liked the way she helped clear the table without being asked. We sat at the dining table. Arthur's table. The one he built. Diana sat next to David. Across from me. She ate the pot roast. 2 servings. She said it was the best she had ever had. After dinner, we had coffee. She asked about Arthur. About my life. About my garden. She listened. Really listened. She asked questions. She remembered the answers. She told me about her mother. Her mother had died 5 years ago. Cancer. Just like Arthur. She said, I know what you are going through, Ruth. It is hard. But you are not alone. I cried. For the first time in months, I cried. Not sad tears. Tears of relief. Tears of hope. Someone understood. Someone saw me. Someone cared. That night, after they left, I sat at the table. Alone. But I was not lonely. For the first time since Arthur died, I was not lonely. I did not know that I had just opened the door. And she had just walked in. They got married a year later. Big wedding. Diana's parents paid for most of it. Her father was a doctor. Her mother was a teacher. They were nice people. Warm. Generous. They welcomed me like family. The wedding was in a church. Not my church. Diana's church. Bigger. Newer. Colder. But beautiful. Diana wore a white dress. Lace. Long train. She looked like a princess. David looked at her like she was the only person in the room. I sat in the front row. Next to Mark and Lisa. Next to my granddaughters. I was happy. Truly happy. My son was marrying a woman he loved. A woman I loved. A woman I thought would be a daughter to me. At the reception, Diana gave a speech. She thanked her parents. She thanked her friends. She thanked David. Then she looked at me. She said, "And thank you, Ruth, for raising such a wonderful man, for welcoming me into your family. I promise to take care of him. I promise to take care of you." Everyone clapped. I cried. Happy tears. The kind that come from deep in the heart. I did not know that promises are easy to make and easy to break. After the wedding, things changed. Slowly, like a tide coming in. You do not notice at first. Then you look down and the water is at your knees. David used to call every day. After Diana, he called twice a week. Then once a week. Then once every 2 weeks. He said he was busy. He said work was crazy. He said Diana needed him. I understood. I did not complain. I did not want to be a burden. We used to have Sunday dinners at my house. Every week. After Diana, David would call and say, "Mom, Diana wants to cook this Sunday. She wants to start a new tradition." I said okay. I did not fight. I drove to their house. I sat at their table. Diana cooked. She was a good cook. Better than me, maybe. The food was delicious. The conversation was polite. The warmth was gone. Slowly the invitation stopped. David would call and say, "Mom, we are busy this Sunday." "Mom, Diana is tired." "Mom, we have plans." That I stopped asking. I did not want to be a burden. One day, I called David. He did not answer. I called again. Voicemail. I left a message. Sua. It is Mom. Just calling to say hello. Love you. He did not call back. I called Diana. She answered. I said, "Hi, Diana. Is David there?" She said, "He is in a meeting, Ruth. Can he call you back?" I said, "Of course. No, Ruth." He did not call back. I stopped calling. I did not want to be a burden. Mark noticed before I did. He said, "Mom, you seem sad. What is going on with David?" I said, "Nothing, sweetheart. He is just busy." Mark said, "He is not busy, Mom. He is avoiding you. Diana is avoiding you. I see it. Lisa sees it. We all see it." I said, "Maybe I am imagining things. Maybe I am being too sensitive." Mark said, "You are not imagining things, Mom. You are being erased." That word, erased, it hit me like a slap. Erased. Like I was a chalkboard and someone was wiping me clean. I thought about all the small things. The Sunday dinners that stopped. The phone calls that were not returned. The holidays that were celebrated without me. The birthdays that came and went without a card. The grandchildren I barely saw. I thought about my place at the table. Arthur's table. The one he built. I used to sit at the head. The head of the family. The matriarch. Now I sat at the end. The chair that wobbles. The one no one wants. Diana sat at the head now. She planned the holidays. She decided who was invited. She decided where everyone sat. She decided who mattered. And I did not matter anymore. The call came on a Wednesday. I was in the garden, pulling weeds. My hands were in the dirt. The sun was warm on my back. The phone rang. I wiped my hands on my apron. I picked up. It was David. His voice was cold, distant, like he was reading from a script. He said, "Mom, we need to talk." I said, "Okay, sweetheart. What is wrong?" He said, "Diana and I have been talking. We think it is best if we take some space. From you. From the family." I said, "Space? What do you mean space?" He said, "We need to focus on our marriage. On our life together. And your involvement. It is causing problems." My involvement. I did not understand. I was not involved. I was barely there. I was invisible. I said, "What did I do, David? Tell me. I will fix it. I will change." He said, "It is not about what you did, Mom. It is about what you are. You are a reminder of his life before me. And Diana wants her own life, her own family, her own traditions. I was a reminder of his life before her. I was the past. She was the future. And the past had to go." I said, "So what are you saying, David? That I should not call? That I should not visit? That I should pretend I do not have a son?" He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "We think it is best if we take a break. For a few months. Just to reset. Just to give us space. A break. From my son. From my grandchildren. From my family." I said, "Okay, David. If that is what you need, I will give you space." He said, "Thank you, Mom. I love you." I said, "I love you too, sweetheart. More than you will ever know." I hung up. I sat on the floor. Right there in the garden. In the dirt. I did not cry. I was too numb. Too empty. Too tired. The first month was hard. I waited by the phone. I checked my messages. I looked at my emails. Nothing. The second month was harder. I started to lose hope. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he moved. Maybe he changed his number. The third month I called. Just once. I left a message. It is Mom. Just checking in. Hope you are doing well. Love you." He did not call back. The sixth month, Mark came to visit. He said, "Mom, I talked to David. He is not doing well. Diana has him on a short leash. He is not happy, but he will not leave her. He is scared." I said, "Scared of what?" Mark said, "Scared of being alone. Scared of losing his children. Scared of starting over." I said, "He is already alone, Mark. He pushed everyone away. He is alone with her." Mark said, "I know, Mom. I know." The ninth month, I sent a birthday card. To David. To Diana. To the children. I wrote little notes inside. Thinking of you. Missing you. Love, Mom. No response. The 12th month, I stopped hoping. I put the phone in the drawer. I stopped checking messages. I stopped waiting. I started living. Not because I wanted to. Because I had no choice. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in the hospital. Not for me. For Mark. Mark had a heart attack. He was 47 years old. Too young. Too sudden. Too cruel. I sat by his bed. Holding his hand. Praying. Begging. Pleading. The nurse came in. She said, "Mrs. Cooper, there is a phone call for you. It is your son, David." My heart stopped. David. I had not heard his voice in over a year. I took the phone. I said, "David?" He was crying. He said, "Mom, I am so sorry. I am on my way. I will be there in 2 hours." I said, "Mark is going to be okay, sweetheart. The doctors say he is going to be okay." He said, "I am not calling about Mark, Mom. I am calling about me. I left her. I finally left her. I am coming home." I started crying. Tears of relief. Tears of joy. Tears of grief. All mixed together. I said, "Come home, David. I am here. I have always been here. I never left." He said, "I know, Mom. I know. And I am so sorry. For everything." He came. He walked into the hospital room. He looked terrible. Thin. Pale. Dark circles under his eyes. He had not slept in days. He fell into my arms. He cried like a little boy. I held him. I stroked his hair. I said, "Shushu. It is okay. You are home now. You are safe. Mark was watching from the bed. He was smiling. A weak smile. But a real smile. He said, "Welcome back, little brother." David said, "I am sorry, Mark. I am so sorry for everything." Mark said, "Do not be sorry. Just stay. That is all Mom ever wanted. For you to stay." David moved into my house. Just for a while. Just until he got back on his feet. He slept in his old room. The one he grew up in. The one with the posters still on the wall. The one with the high school trophies on the shelf. I cooked for him. Every day. Potruast. Meatloaf. Chicken soup. The foods he loved as a boy. The foods that made him feel safe. He ate everything. 2 servings. 3 servings. He was hungry. Not just for food. For home. We fell back into our old rhythm. Sunday afternoons. Cooking together. Watching old movies. Talking about nothing and everything. He told me about Diana. About the years of silence. About the control. About the loneliness. He said, "Mom, I was so blind. I thought she loved me. But she loved controlling me. She loved having power over me. She loved taking me away from you." I said, "You were not blind, David. You were in love. There is a difference." He said, "I hurt you, Mom. I hurt you so much. And I did not even see it." I said, "You are here now, sweetheart. That is all that matters." Visual. A playground. A grandmother sitting on a bench. 3 children running toward her. They are laughing. She opens her arms. She is crying. Happy tears. For the first time in a long time. Resolution Part 2. The grandchildren return. Diana fought the divorce. She fought hard. She wanted everything. The house. The car. The money. The children. She wanted David to suffer. But David did not suffer. He was free. He was light. He was smiling again. A real smile. Not the smile he tried on for Diana. His smile. The one I had not seen in years. The courts gave David joint custody. The children would live with Diana during the week. They would stay with David every other weekend and one night during the week. It was not perfect. But it was something. It was a start. I see my grandchildren now. Every weekend. They sleep on the floor in sleeping bags. We make popcorn. We watch old movies. The black and white ones. The ones I watched when I was a girl. Emily is 9. She has David's eyes. My eyes. She looks at me and I see myself. She says, "Grandma, why did Daddy live with you for so long?" I say, "Because Daddy needed some help, sweetheart. And Grandma loves to help." She says, "Do you love me too?" I say, "I love you more than all the stars in the sky, Emily. More than all the fish in the ocean. More than all the sand on the beach." She smiles. She says, "That is a lot, Grandma." I say, "It is. And it is not even half of how much I love you." It took 2 years. 2 years of healing. 2 years of therapy. 2 years of learning to trust. 2 years of learning to hope. But one day David said, "Mom, I want to have Sunday dinner here. At your house. Like we used to." I said, "Are you sure, sweetheart? It is a lot of work." He said, "I'm sure. I will help. The kids will help. We all will help." So we did. Every Sunday. Just like old times. I cooked. David helped. The children set the table. Mark and Lisa brought dessert. We ate. We talked. We laughed. We argued about nothing. We apologized with hugs. I sat at the head of the table. Arthur's table. The one he built. My place. Restored. Diana does not come. She moved to another state. She remarried. A man with money. A man who does not ask questions. A man who does not have a mother. I do not hate her. I tried. But I cannot. Hate is too heavy. It is like carrying stones in your pocket. I carried them for a while. Then I put them down. One by one. I forgave her. Not because she deserves it. Because I deserve peace. So here I am. 69 years old. Living in the same house. Sitting at the same table. Waiting for the same phone to ring. But I am not waiting anymore. I am living. My son calls every day. My grandchildren visit every weekend. My other son is healthy. My family is whole. Not perfect. No family is perfect. But whole. She took my place. For a while. She sat in my chair. She cooked in my kitchen. She held my grandchildren. She took my place at the family table. But she did not take my family. Because family is not a place. It is not a chair. It is not a table. It is love. And love cannot be taken. It can only be given. And she did not have enough love to give. So she took. And taking is not the same as having. I have learned something in this house. Something I want to share with you. Especially if you are a mother, a grandmother, a woman who has been pushed aside, forgotten, replaced. Here it is that do not give up. Do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping. Even when the phone does not ring. Even when the table is full and you are not sitting at it. Even when someone else takes your place. Keep your place at the table. Not the physical table. The table in your heart. The place where you sit with your memories. Your love. Your hope. No one can take that. No one can erase that. She took my place. For a while. But I am back in my chair. And the silence? The silence is gone. Replaced by laughter. By love. By the sound of my family around me. That is my story. Thank you for listening. I still talk to Arthur. Every night. Before I go to sleep. I look at his photo. I tell him about my day. I tell him about David. About Mark. About the grandchildren. About the table. About the pot roast. I think he can hear me. I think he is listening. I think he is proud of me. Not because I did everything right. I did not. But because I never gave up. Because I kept loving. Because I kept my place at the table. That is all any of us can do. Keep loving. Keep hoping. Keep your place. Even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard. I am Ruth. I am 69 years old. She took my place. But I am back. And I am not leaving again. That is my story. Thank you for listening.